So I'm gonna fill you guys in on what's happening. So I told you I was being attacked, cyber attacked since June. After a long, extensive troubleshooting, because it, unfortunately, so I'm not normal. Okay, so I'm not crazy, but I'm not normal. I my so I have a family history of like Asperger's, right? And so that's how I learned family law so quick. Is I whenever I find an interest or have like a passion about something, I obsess, right? And so my computers have been infected since it took out my AI since like end of June. So I've been obsessing about getting my stuff back up so I can go back in and fight for my son. It's been holding me back. I've been trying to figure out where it's coming from. I don't know how it keeps getting reinfected, and I believe I finally found it. So I can't believe it. So what was going on is my phone got infected, my all my computers got infected, and they continue to get infected. I went and got a brand new laptop, took the wireless card out of it before I started it, thought it was wireless, plugged it directly into the Xfinity modem with a cable, gets infected. It's coming from Xfinity, right? So start working with Xfinity, calling support. Took a couple calls before I realized a lot of the voices were the same. There was a girl that in particular that caught my attention because uh, I have a flamboyant personality, right? Like if I'm angry about something, I may not be angry at you, but I sound like I'm angry at you, but I'm not. I have a lot of emotion, and when I talk, I'm an emotional person, you know. And so I was talking about the situation and how I was frustrated, and you can hear her voice start crackling, like she started talking about how she had a daughter, and I could tell that she was like an empathetic, emotional person. That was the first kind of thing. That's how I remembered her voice. Um, that was when she was working for Samsung. So then I called Xfinity and I got her again. Sounds like her, right? And her supervisor tried to say, "Oh, all Filipinos sound the same." Nah, dude. You may have voices that, if you have voices that sound the same, the demeanor is the same. I mean, the demeanor is the same as this person. The fact that her voice gets crackly, I was getting upset. Could figure out her voice started crackling. I was like, you know what? I've talked to you before. When you, I talked to you when you were at Samsung, and I'm like, uh, okay. So my phone has malware, right? And every time I call Samsung, I'm gonna just lay out. Every time I call Samsung, called Xfinity, called IRS. It seems like the hold music was all the same. Also, without even transferring me, the hold music would change, and so I would get like the same people. They're the scammers, right? So I had a long talk, told them about what was going on. Somehow they did have connection to Xfinity. They kept sending new modems, but here's the funny thing about it. This is a red flag. So I really do think that these people do work for Xfinity, but I also believe they have side gigs too. And they were in the Philippines, same voices, different names. And this modem came from, here's the address, Seek Fulfillment, 22538 Northeast Townsend Way, Fairfield, Oregon. Okay. I don't know if Seek Fulfillment is somebody's name or if that's a company or what, but that's fucking hilarious. And it's spelled just like, the religion or how would you call it? People, the group of people, Seek, like SIK. Seek Fulfillment. Oh, okay. Let's seek fulfillment. That's not from Xfinity. And here's the funny thing about it. The brand new modem they sent is the same modem I sent back that was infected. I know because I put a mark on it, and when I got it back, it was the same dirty modem from the same place with a mark on it. So I decided to cancel Xfinity. I'm done with it, and because the malware was coming from their modems, and I did not even put two and two together. I would never think that it would be coming from Xfinity, and it was coming from Xfinity. So I had a long conversation with the guy, told him what was going on, told him that I was in a large lawsuit against the state, that they were guilty of trafficking and their behaviors, and I don't know, somebody hired these guys. I said, you know what, take your crypto and run. We're done. I said, He's like, okay, all right. And he still wouldn't really fully admit it, but his behavior definitely, and hers and his, like, yeah, is the same people. So, okay. So I'm done with Xfinity. I have no internet. Now I'm going to try to get my computers back up and going. So it feels like a little bit of relief. My phone's working better. So I tried to ask him if he could reveal who paid him, and that I wouldn't go after them, and that I get it. Like, they're just trying to make some money. They're in the Philippines. You know, money's probably scarce. But I really would like to know what unscrupulous piece of shit decided to contract somebody via, cryptocurrency. What is it? Fake obituary websites, was it? Or funeral services. Anyways, nonetheless, I want to find out. I wanted him to admit it, who hired him to attack me. I have a feeling what they were doing is when they got into my machines, they were creating false overlays using Apache the software for creating websites. They were putting overlays over Microsoft's website, things like that. So when I logged in, they were capturing my username and password. They captured a majority of my stuff. So I told them, I got upset and I said, you know what, here's the deal. Either delete all my fucking documents so I can start over, or get the fuck out of here. So, excuse me, my language. Get the fuck out of here, or either leave me alone or take my shit and delete it. Take your crypto, whatever you got paid, and get the fuck out of here. I'm done. Like, you're holding up a dad who's trying to get his child back that was federally kidnapped from him, and I have proof of that because it was done under malintent, in front of using the color law under malintent, I got another little piece of evidence that proves that Julie Sockeld is soliciting crimes against people. I don't want to really reveal the source, but it was some documentation that was submitted as evidence to a opposing party, and the wrong evidence was attached, and it was an email correspondence that proves her soliciting contractors to make false claims. So good luck, Julie. Maybe you should proofread your stuff next time, and it's game over. Because as you know, people that are narcissistic, they try to accuse other people of the things they're doing. She was trying to accuse me of some ridiculous things. The restraining order that she put on me was ridiculous. It's unconstitutional. There's definitely gonna be accountability in all of this. I got a response back from a third-party judge saying that my recusal of Siebert was denied because any normal person, she believes that any normal person wouldn't believe that there's a bias, considering I have $100 million lawsuit against him for trafficking children. You're right. He wouldn't. I mean, who would be mad about that? Interesting. Thank you, Stanislaus attorney, or a judge, or used to be an attorney. Your response really proves how disconnected you really are from Earth. Because when you actually pay attention to your environment, which you probably don't, I believe, I'm not going to give credit to the judges in Tuolumne County, except for I can't really say anything bad about the family commissioner or Judge Laura Craig, because I had a little bit with the family commissioner. I like his demeanor. I like he's very by the book, and I haven't had any issue. I haven't had any court hearings with Laura Craig as a judge. She's probably going to avoid mine anyways, because my stuff's a mess. I'll tell you why my stuff's a mess. This is ultimately why my hearings have been so disastrous. And I can tell you right now, and I'll tell you if it's my fault. I would say it's my fault. It's not my fault. When I go into court, I expect the judges, and they may not expect it this way because they lost sight of what they really are. And they're acting like tyrants. They're acting like the enemy of this country that we've always opposed is tyrants. So I'll put it in easy perspective. So, because I know the judges watch this. If you do something unconstitutional, the Constitution is by the people, for the people. That gives you authority. It gives you your power, right? If you do something that's unconstitutional, you don't get your power from the Constitution because you violate it. Usually, most of the time, the federal courts agree with the Constitution, so you don't get it from the federal court. The state constitutions usually mimic the federal constitution or U.S. Constitution, so you're not getting it from there. So what power are you getting the authority to take a child away without due process? What authority do you have to issue a DVRO for another year without clear and convincing evidence? You don't. you're doing it of your own accord, which means that you're acting under your own laws, your own rules, and you are acting outside of your jurisdiction. The people didn't give you the authority to issue unconstitutional orders. The federal court did not give you the authority to invoke higher child support payments that are miscalculated on purpose to take higher subsidies or higher kickbacks away from the federal government. That's fraud on the federal government. You also did, so basically the state also, you guys didn't even have state authority to take my child away. Also, taking my child away based on the stipulations of that DVRO, that's unconstitutional too, because you cannot take a child away from a parent, no matter how you try to sidestep or dance it around, or even issuing a DVRO based on disturbing somebody's peace. Disturbing somebody's peace is not one of the grounds of taking a child away from a healthy parent. So you could try to dance around all you want, but I'm telling you right now, what you did was illegal, and it's federally illegal. It was a violation of federal law. It was a violation of constitutional law. It was a violation of state law. It was a violation of moral law. It was a violation. You're violating the people that are paying you. We don't pay you to abuse us. We don't pay you to kidnap our kids. And for some reason, you guys have a hard time disconnecting the difference between family court and criminal court. Not every time somebody's in there, it's for a crime. You need to disconnect that. If two parents are in there because they're having a custody agreement, it doesn't mean that somebody committed domestic violence. It doesn't mean that somebody is abusive and should not have all custody of their kid because of the fact that they claimed that the other parent is narcissistic, because they are. Like, you are turning this country into the most disgusting wretch. Like, this is why people call California the armpit. Well, I'm 42. Get this. I'm 42 fucking years old. And the first time I've ever spent time in jail was because of your motherfucking lies last week. I spent time in jail over a restraining order that should not have been granted, and it's past the timing of a TRO. So you violated California law by even keeping the TRO there, and you violated constitutional law by issuing a restraining order for filming in public, which is a First Amendment. A First Amendment. Really? What is wrong with you guys? And you guys are trying to say that I need to see a therapist? You guys need to hang up the robe and get the fuck out of here, because you are not qualified to adjudicate anything in family law when you have that far of a disconnect from reality.